Hello there, Lunar Squadron, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to our character class breakdown series. In this video, we are going to be going over one of the heavy-hitting character classes, and that is the Hero class. We are going to be going over all of the confirmed characters that we have seen. In fact, when it comes to the Hero class, the amount of confirmed characters might be the biggest list in comparison to the other character classes. We really did get a really good look at a bunch of confirmed Hero characters. We're also going to be taking a look at the special abilities that the Hero class will have, namely a very robust disguise mechanic. We actually get to see that a lot in the gameplay overview trailer. We found a lot of cool details about that. And as always, we will be going over those upgradable perks and just what exactly we think those will do to help you along your way as you face off against the treacherous enemies of the galaxy. But before we do all of that, Andreas, I believe we have a few brief messages.
That's right, Nick, we do. First off, I just want to encourage every single one of you to get involved in our Q&A giveaway for a chance to win a brand new LEGO Star Wars LEGO set. You don't want to miss out on this one. It's totally free to enter. All you have to do is like the video, leave a Q&A question down below asking whatever you want, and then making sure that you are subscribed to the channel. That will all put you in the running to win that LEGO set. We are going to announce the winner of the LEGO set and which LEGO set it is after this breakdown series. Now that that's out of the way, I have a question for Bosk. Now, growing up, I always knew that there were two sorts of people in this world. There were heroes, and then there were Trandoshans. So Bosk, with that said, if you were ever to turn a new leaf in this galaxy and become a hero, what's the first thing you would do?
I will track you through the void.
I guess what they say is right. Even when a Trandoshan is paying you a compliment, it does sound like a threat. Anyway, let's get into the video.
This is Lunar Squadron standing by. We are ready to make the jump to hyperspace. On my mark, Lunar Squadron.
Alright guys, so to kick things off, just like every character class breakdown that we've done up to this point, I want to go over all of the hero characters that were showcased in this gameplay overview trailer. Now, the way I want to do this is I actually want to break this down into a couple different subcategories. Now, the first one I want to talk about are the confirmed characters from HUD icons that we see throughout the gameplay trailer. We actually see 4 HUD icons that are not on that character list that we see at the end of the trailer. That is, we see the HUD for Leia Organa, her episode 4 appearance. We also see Padme very briefly, Poe Dameron in his jacket appearance, for Finn in his crate appearance, and for Luke Skywalker as his rebel pilot appearance. Now we know that these are part of the hero character class because if you take a look at the top left icon, you will see the rebellion icon, which indicates the hero character class. Now, the next category I want to talk about are the not confirmed by any sort of icon or on the character list, but they're pretty obvious choices, and they're just characters that we see throughout the gameplay overview trailer. That is, we see Rose Tico on Mustafar. We see a couple different Finn appearances. We see him with the jacket from Episode 7, as well as his Episode 9 appearance on the Star Destroyer. We see multiple different Luke Skywalker appearances, like his rebel pilot appearance, but we also see his homestead appearance. And finally, we also see Padme very briefly in that Republic gunship. You can just kind of see her briefly. She's wearing that white outfit she's wearing in the Petronaki arena that's been cut. So those are the 4 that are just not confirmed yet, but pretty obviously going to be in the hero character class. Now, lastly, I just want to talk about this character list that we see near the end of the gameplay overview trailer. And to be completely honest with you, we actually see a ton of hero characters on this list, and I'm not quite sure how we're going to be able to get through each of these characters in an appropriate amount of time, but I guess we're just going to have to do our best and try. What?
I think I have an idea on this one, Nick. I will propose a challenge.
Oh, really?
I will give you 15 seconds to read off every single one of the hero characters on the list, and let me see if I can raise the stakes here. if you get all of the hero characters in 15 seconds, I will let you pick out an embarrassing photo of me that will be included in the video. But if you lose... How cold is it in Colorado right now?
Very cold, like negative cold.
How about if you don't make it, you have to jump in the snow outside and then come back and film the rest of the video?
All right, fine. Deal. I can do this. 15 seconds? I think there's 20 characters listed on that list. Yeah, all right. I'll do that. Why not? Why
Are you ready?
the hell not? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Whew,
Ready?
okay.
I'm gonna give you the count of 3. So I'm gonna say 3, 2, 1, go, and then you go. Okay?
Okay.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Luke Skywalker, Tarful, Wedge Antilles, Vice Admiral Holdo, Aftab Akbar, Bail Organa, Beaumont Kin, Biggs Darklighter, Bulio, Boss Nass, Scythe Thornalley, Captain Antilles, Captain Panaka, Captain Tarfels, Captain Typho, Phase 1 Clone Trooper, Phase 2 Clone Trooper, Commander Cody, Commander DeAC, and Commander Green.
I think you, just made it.
Let's go.
I think you got it, on the dot.
That's good enough for me. If I don't have to jump out in the snow and can film the rest of this video in peace, I am happy.
That was actually very close.
With this ridiculous challenge out of the way, Andreas, I believe we have some abilities to talk about seriously when it comes to the hero character class. So why don't we talk about this very robust disguise system that I mentioned in the intro of this video?
You are right, Nick. The disguise system in this game is so very incredibly robust, and not just that, we also got a lot of details about how this system is going to work in the gameplay overview trailer. I mean, just for starters, you were able to see how exactly you pick up disguises in the game. I want to direct all of your attention to what this perk looks like. You can see that it is a Lego minifigure head with, the glasses and nose, the classic disguise, right? And this same logo can be seen in multiple stations throughout the trailer. The first time that we see one of these disguise stations is on the finalizer. It's this clip of Poe. He's kind of kicking the shit out of some First Order stormtroopers. And you can see just in the back of this whole fight, if you were paying attention to the fight, you would have missed it, but in the background, there is a disguise station. You can see on the floor is that same perk logo, and then right above that logo, there is a First Order Stormtrooper torso. Now, what this leads me to believe is that if you want to pick up a disguise, you're going to have to find yourself one of these stations, and only heroes are going to be able to use these stations. Now, once you use the station, you're going to pick up the torso or legs or whatever it is, and then you will be disguised effectively. And now, this isn't the only disguise that we saw throughout the trailer. We also saw another disguise station on a Final Order Star Destroyer just above Exegol, where the camera is showing Finn dodging behind cover. Just before he goes behind cover, you can see another one of these stations, this time with Sith Trooper legs. That's right, you can put on an entire Sith Trooper disguise. The way that I think this is going to work is you are going to have to find a matching set of a disguise, either 2 or 3 pieces, in order to have a full disguise, which will ultimately hide you from the enemy. Now, we heard in the trailer that you are able to, quote, charge in boldly or find a more stealthy approach. And right when that quote is said in the trailer, you can see that Poe has on what appears to be a prisoner disguise. Now, the way that we know that this is a disguise is that he appears to have handcuffs on, and when he approaches the stormtroopers with the handcuffs on, they don't seem all too bothered by it, but the second he takes his handcuffs apart, kind of revealing the disguise, and starts shooting at the stormtroopers, that starts to set off all the stormtroopers. They shoot back and seem just overtly aggressive at that point. Now that we know how the disguise system works, this kind of begs the question of what are we disguised from? And one of the clear ways that this whole sneak mechanic appears to work is that there will be an alarm system that can be tripped if you are not disguised, or alternatively, if you go out into the open with a character who is not supposed to be where they are. For example, if you're just using a resistance pilot in a first order area, that will sound the alarm. Now, the first place where we saw some of these alarms was actually on the finalizer with Poe. You could clearly see, a alarm system in the background. And another place where you also see this very same alarm system is in that Poe prisoner sequence. You can see multiple alarms in the back. Now, supposedly, once you start shooting stormtroopers, once you forego your stealthy approach for a more bold approach, it's likely that you will sound the alarm and that more First Order stormtroopers will start billowing in. Now, this is kind of how we expect this disguise system to work. Now, what about the other perks here? They're kind of more difficult to figure out, right, Nick?
Yeah, they are. So, just like every other character class breakdown that we've done up to this point, we are going to go through the 4 upgradable perks that we see briefly in the gameplay overview trailer and just give you our theories as to what exactly we think these perks are going to be. Now, up to this point, when it comes to this disguise system, we were talking about the second perk that we see listed, as it is clearly the same icon that we see with the little disguise mechanic in the game. We have a couple ideas for how exactly we think this perk is going to work and function with that mechanic, but I want to start off with this first perk. Andreas, what are we thinking this first perk is? In my opinion, I'm thinking it has to do with either a damage reduction ability, and the more you upgrade it, will be taking less damage from enemies, or perhaps a shield like we see from Leia in Battlefront 2, who is a hero character. What are we thinking with this one?
I think that is incredibly likely. One other idea that I had, just based on, I totally got that this is a shield, right? And then it has the cross, which kind of leads me to believe that health was a thing. But the one thing that I couldn't quite put my finger on was why it looks like the shield is kind of in rank and file, like, almost a military rank. And what this got me thinking about was in LEGO Star Wars The Force Awakens, when you are able to use certain leader types to command other inferior officers. I'm thinking about when you were using General Leia to order other resistance pilots and resistance soldiers to go do things. It kind of reminded me of that. Maybe that mechanic is in some way going to make a return, but for the most part, I think you're probably right on this one, Nick. Now, I know you also had a really great idea on the third perk, which is one that, I had no idea what this was. What do you think this third one's going to do?
That's right, Andreas. When you look at this perk on the surface level, there's not much to it. It looks like it's just a heart, but if you take a closer look at the heart, it actually is made up of an inverse of the Rebellion logo, and I think this is actually done on purpose and is very important to what I think this perk is going to deal with. The nickname that I am giving this perk is the Heart of the Rebellion, and what I think it is going to do is I think it's going to offer some sort of morale boost to your hero character, whether that be a damage output boost or a health boost, or perhaps even a senses boost such as running faster or building faster. Now, the reason I think this is going to be the way this perk works is the morale of the rebellion is a very recurring theme across Star Wars. We see it in multiple films. We see it in Rogue One, where they just don't have that bravery like Jyn to take on the Empire, because nobody takes on the Empire and wins. We see it in the sequel trilogy, where their morale is very low after their defeat to the First Order on Crate, and they just have to abandon, and they're not sure if anyone is going to help them out. Morale is a very important theme in Star Wars, and I think it's going to show up in LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga in the form of this perk, and the nickname that I have given this perk is the Heart of the Rebellion.
However, we do have one final perk to get through here. Nick, what are you thinking this perk's all about?
Yeah, that's the question of the day, isn't it? This is perhaps the most confusing perk that we have dealt with up to this point across all of our character class breakdowns. Now, to be completely honest with you, we're not quite entirely sure what we're dealing with here. We think we're dealing with some sort of terminal that only hero characters will be able to access. We see that for other character classes like the Astromech and the Protocol Droids. So we think that's what we're dealing with. If you take a look at the villain character class, the fourth perk shares an icon very similar, almost identical to this perk just for the villain class. You see the little Empire symbol on it when it comes to the villain class. And we do see an instance of an Imperial terminal in the gameplay overview trailer. So we're thinking that's what this perk is going to be dealing with. To be completely honest with you, I'm not quite sure what this is going to do as far as helping you with accessing these terminals. Perhaps there are just higher level terminals that you're not able to access when this perk is not at a higher level. We're not entirely sure. This perk we kind of wanted to open up to you in the comments down below to just sort of offer your ideas to us as to what exactly you think this fourth perk is and what exactly you think it is going to do.
Yeah, this is really one of those perks that when you look at the face of it, it is very hard to tell what it is. That said, I would love to hear all of your opinions in the comments down below because, again, your opinions are just as good as ours in this area. Total speculating on this one. Not sure what it does. I will admit, Nick, it does look exactly like that Empire one, so there's got to be some sort of, parallel upgrade here for both heroes as well as villains. Now, with all of this said, it does look like you are going to have the opportunity to use the heroes quite frequently throughout this game. You might need to use them throughout this game to get to some of the more restricted areas in the game where you will need a disguise. And like I mentioned before, the only class that is able to pick up these disguises is the hero class. So you will find yourself using this class quite frequently. It's going to be pretty important in this game, and like we rattled off, so many great characters are going to be heroes that this is just a great class to use in this game. I'm very excited for this one. Let me know in the comments down below which of these classes you've been most excited about, the ones that we've gone over, and in turn, which class that's upcoming are you most interested in. I know we have the villains, the protocol droids, and the astromech droids left, so let us know which one of those you want to see next in the comments down below. However, that is going to do it for this breakdown. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, we will see you all next time.